Hi guys, so Edwin Poots, the new leader of the Democratic Unionist Party in Northern Ireland, was in Dublin for talks with the Irish government. Now, he was interviewed on Irish television where he attacked Leo Varadkar, the former Taoiseach or Prime Minister. So let's hear what he had to say.
You also said the relations have never been as bad between the North and the Irish government. I mean, were you serious when you said that, given we think about Enniskillen, the Haughey era, the arms trial, decommissioning, or was that just for the loyal DUP supporter?
No, I'm talking about my period in politics. I'm not going back to the period of the Troubles. So since we've had the Belfast Agreement and all of that, that is the period that I'm referring to, that relationships have never been as bad. And I don't...
Well, the relationship North and South was good after the Good Friday Agreement.
I don't think anyone could argue that that's the case. Leo Varadkar took photographs over to the European Union of a border post that was destroyed, I think, in the 1970s, and said this is what could happen. Whenever a young man from the Loyalist community actually stated there could be violence if the protocol doesn't go away, he was slated by the media.
Now, there's a big difference here. Leo Varadkar explained to the European Union, if there's a hard border put between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, this will require infrastructure. If there is infrastructure, the infrastructure will become a target. If it becomes a target, then there will be a security requirement. If there's a security requirement, that's in breach of the Good Friday Agreement. Because in the Good Friday Agreement, it talks about reducing, it talks about normalization, it talks about reducing infrastructure on the border. So a hard border would come into conflict with the Good Friday Agreement. Now, the border between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. There's nothing in the Good Friday Agreement about a border between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. Now, it's also important to remember that the border between Great Britain and Northern Ireland is affecting goods. It's not affecting people. In the past, the border between the Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland included security checks. People's cars were stopped. People would have to get out of their cars. They would have to be checked by the military police. This is a completely different situation to a border between Great Britain and Northern Ireland, where goods are being checked, not people. Now, Leo Varadkar explained this to the European Union, and Loyalists and the DUP have a problem with that. A hard border would have been in breach of the Good Friday Agreement. A hard border between Northern Ireland and the Republic. A border that checks goods between Great Britain and Northern Ireland does not affect the Good Friday Agreement.
But the Prime Minister of Ireland done exactly the same thing, and it is shameful that he used that type of messaging to the European Union. You people voted for Brexit. Leo Varadkar did not vote for Brexit. Leo Varadkar did not want Brexit. The Irish government didn't want Brexit. The Irish people didn't want Brexit. The people of Northern Ireland, a majority of them did not want Brexit. You know who wanted Brexit? The DUP wanted it. The Loyalist communities generally wanted Brexit. They got their Brexit, and they're still angry. And they're angry with Leo Varadkar for suggesting that Brexit would undermine the Good Friday Agreement. And was basically sold the European Union.
But you're going to have to deal with our thorns to Leo Varadkar and our Foreign Affairs Minister.
This is a little bit frustrating for me once again, how the journalist does not challenge him on what he's just said. He said something that did not make sense. What Leo Varadkar explained was how the Good Friday Agreement would be harmed by a hard border. And Edwin Poots is once again let off the hook here.
Mr. Simon Coveney, very soon.
I won't have an issue dealing with them. I won't have an issue confronting them and telling them how disgraceful their actions were. I was actually speaking to Simon Coveney last week, so I have absolutely no issues dealing with people.
They might ask you, and I think, is this true?
Isn't it interesting how he can say that their actions were disgraceful, but the decades of rhetoric coming out of from the DUP towards the loyalist community, egging them on, using language like we need to go to war and we need to have our firepower ready and the enemy needs to be defeated. This type of language being used in Northern Ireland to convince members of the loyalist community to react. And now Edwin Poots is complaining about Leah Varadkar showing pictures of border posts that existed back in the 1970s.
True tonight that you will stop boycotting the North-South meetings.
Well, I've indicated on the back of the meeting with the Taoiseach that we will be attending the North-South Ministerial Council on the 18th of June. That is on the basis of wanting to build good relationships with my counterparts. That is something that I have done historically.
What he's talking about here is the requirements under the Good Friday Agreement. So when the Good Friday Agreement was signed, there were requirements of North-South bodies to be set up to allow mutual agreements to be put in place. Trade or security or healthcare, things like this. These would be put in place in order to allow both North and South to work together for their mutual benefit. The DUP recently have been boycotting that. They are representing Northern Ireland at the moment in the Northern Ireland Assembly, and they have a duty to take part in these meetings. These meetings are part of the Good Friday Agreement, and the DUP have been boycotting them. Now they've decided we're not going to boycott them. The DUP did not agree with the Good Friday Agreement. They didn't campaign for it. They actually were against the Good Friday Agreement, along with many people within the loyalist community who are against the Good Friday Agreement. But they're happy to use the Good Friday Agreement to attack the protocol, for example, saying that the Northern Ireland Protocol is undermining the Good Friday Agreement. So people who didn't believe in the Northern Ireland and the Good Friday Agreement in the beginning are happy to use it as a cudgel against the protocol, something that they voted for. There was no need for a protocol if there was no Brexit. These people campaigned for Brexit and they voted for Brexit.
When I was Health Minister, I ensured that we went ahead with the radiotherapy unit in Altnagelvin Hospital, which ensured people in Donegal as well as the North West were able to get that cancer treatment. I have always sought to have good relationships. So
this is somewhat true. He's respected within the DUP as being pragmatic. Let's ignore the belief that the Earth is 6,000 years old or whatever. But when it comes to politics, he's regarded as being pragmatic and willing to work with Sinn Féin or to work with the Irish government. But at the back of it all, he understands that his party is splitting at the moment. There are the ones who believe that the protocol has to be worked with. They have to work with the protocol. And there are the others, the more extreme, who want to do away with the protocol. The party could split and be finished, and they are really concerned about next year's elections because the party in power could no longer be the DUP but Sinn Féin. And there's a real risk for the Unionists in Northern Ireland that there could be a Sinn Féin government in Stormont and there could be a Sinn Féin government in Dublin. And they're extremely concerned about that. Let me know in the comments section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?